Good morning. Welcome to the KetoMom page. My name is Stephanie, and we are talking about curiosity. We're actually wrapping up this book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And if you've been following me for a while, you will know that the power of your mindset is going to help you in any area of your life. So if you're here to lose weight or fat loss or to feel better, to focus on your health and fitness, one of the things I'm going to walk you through is working on your mindset. That starts with reading and listening to podcasts or learning from a mentor. He's going to talk about in this chapter, asking good questions. So as you're tuning in, good morning. Where are you tuning in from? And I'd like to know, I really actually would like to know if you are reading the book with me or if you're reading another book. If there's another book that you're working on, you're reading, you're going through, what are you reading to get your mindset right every day? I'd love for you to share it with us. So we're almost done with this book. My hope was that we would be done by the end of this month so we can start diving into habits and systems February 1st, but we're not quite there. So we've got, I think, 3 more chapters, actually 2. So we'll start the book called The Miracle Morning by Elrod, and we'll start that book a couple days into February. And we're going to just set up your morning, talk about own your morning, own your day, but we are going to finish this book. You finish what you start. If you tuned in any part of January, we obviously talked about goals and visions and what do you want and taking action. And one of the things we talked about in this month was finishing what you start. It's exciting to start something. The middle can seem mundane, but you should look at every single day as a learning opportunity, right? Not to be bored, but to keep going. And the goal is to finish. So we're going to finish the book. I honestly was like, I was like, well, people who have the book can finish it. We can start the new book February 1st. Isn't that funny how when the first things show up, you want to start? We're not going to. We're going to finish this book. We've got a couple chapters left. It's really great. If you have it, awesome. If you don't and you're looking for a book to read, there you go. So today's chapter, it is great. You are right. Today's chapter is called The Law of Curiosity. Growth is stimulated by asking good questions. How many of you believe that you're a good question asker? I don't know if that's a thing. My husband is incredible at asking questions. If you ever have a conversation with him or you listen to him talk to people, he is not the one usually, he'll give advice, but he's always asking questions to spur on people's minds and their mindset. He says this: curious people possess a thirst for knowledge. They are interested in life, people, ideas, experiences, and events, and they live in a constant state of wanting to learn more. Because when you learn more, you get new ideas, it inspires you, and then you take action and you go further. Curiosity helps a person to think and expand possibilities beyond the ordinary. Asking why fires the imagination. It leads to discovery. It opens options. It takes people beyond the ordinary and leads them to extraordinary lives. You might be going, what does this have to do with fat loss, Stephanie? A lot. Because as you're learning and growing, whether it's your mindset or even as simple as, why do I do the things I do every day? If you're asking yourself the question, why do I do this? Is it because I grew up doing that? Is it because it's a habit? Why does our family do this? Oh, because my grandma did that, or my mom did that, or why do we eat certain foods? Is it the environment that we're in? Is it because it's convenient and I don't want to cook? If you're always asking yourself why, to make sure you're on the right course, it's a great question. Why? How many of you have kids? We have 4 daughters. They are all sleeping right now. But how many of you have your kids ask you, why? Why? Why do we do this? What is this? Why do we do this, right? Here's the book, if you're asking. And how many have you caught yourself saying, he talks about this in the book, I'm not going to read the story, but oftentimes we take our children's curiosity away because we don't answer the questions. Have you ever said, because I said so? Because I said so. One of the biggest things I'm realizing with children is you never want to take their creativity away. You never want to have them stop asking questions. You want them to live a life of curiosity. You want them to ask questions. So if there's anything you take out of today, when somebody asks you why, whether it's a spouse or your kids or somebody that works for you or you work for them, you should always answer the question or seek to find the answer. Why do you do the things you do? Why don't you like working out? Or why do you? Why do you prefer? Why is it easier to go through a drive-through instead of making your own food? Ask yourself the question why throughout the day. Albert Einstein said this: all meaningful and lasting change starts first in the imagination and then works its way out. Many people fill their minds with limiting beliefs. They lack the personal confidence or self-esteem because their self-esteem causes them to create barriers for themselves and puts them in limitations on how and what they think. The result? They fail to reach their full potential, not because they lack capacity, but because they are unwilling to expand their belief and break new ground. We cannot perform outwardly in a way that is inconsistent with how we think inwardly. That is so good. You cannot perform outwardly. You cannot do things on the outside. You cannot do things in a way that is inconsistent with how you think on the inside. That is why your mindset is so important. If you've got goals to look or feel a certain way, you're going to have to work on the inside first, and that comes and it will show on the outside. You can change your thinking and as a result, change your life. Give yourself permission to be curious. The single greatest difference between curious, growing people and those who aren't is the belief that they can learn, grow, and change. So he tells a ton of stories. I'm not going to read them to you, but there's a couple more things I want to read. I just like to underline my goal is to give you a thought for today. Something to take with you throughout your morning, into work, into whatever you are doing to help you grow and become better. The way to approach life and learning has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with your attitude. Your attitude is super important, how you approach life. Are you thankful? Are you crabby? Did you wake up today on the right side of the bed or the wrong side of the bed? Did you wake up today with a I get to do life or I have to? Should be a I get to, because you were blessed with another day of life. The important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reasons for existing. Never, ever lose your holy curiosity. And how do you get a holy curiosity? You ask the question why all the time. It's okay to ask. There's power in asking questions and then learning. All right, I have a whole little paragraph I want to read because I thought it was super great. And if my husband wants to come and say anything, he can. He's on the other side, and he's really full of wisdom. He asks a lot of questions. All right, are you ready? One of the best ways to remain curious is to begin each day with a determination to learn something new. Do you get up in the morning and go, I'm going to learn something new? Or with an excitement for life, right? To learn something new, experience something different, or meet somebody you've never met before. Doing this requires 3 things. First, you must wake up with an attitude of openness to something new. You must see the day as having multiple opportunities to learn. Second, you must keep your eyes and ears opened as you go through the day. Most unsuccessful people accept their day, tuning things out, simply existing, simply hoping to endure the day. Successful people seize their day. They focus in it. They ignore distractions. Growing people remain focused. Are you focused? And if not, we are going to get more focused and structured and really dive into what a morning could look like so that you own your morning here in a couple days. If you want to get the book, it's called The Miracle Morning. It's going to help you immensely if you listen and you take action. It's incredible. And then third, he says, is reflection. So you're going to wake up in the morning with excitement. Are you willing to learn new things with eyes and ears to be open to new things in your life? And then reflection. He says, it does little good to see something new without taking time to think about it. It does no good to hear something new and never apply it. I found the best way to learn something new is to take time at the end of the day to ask yourself a question that prompts you to think about what you've learned. Remember, experience is not the best teacher. Evaluating experience is. What did you learn? Take something that you learned in any part of your day, reflect on it, and you need to take action upon that. Apply it to your life. It's super important. Most people see failure, mistakes, and errors as signs of weakness. When they fail, they say, I'll never do that again. But people who grow and develop see failure as a sign of progress. They know that it is impossible to continually try without something failing. It's part of the growth. It's part of the journey. Therefore, they make failure their friend, and they learn from it. They didn't fail. They've learned. They're going to implement something different. They're going to keep going. So this is the book. We will be done in a couple days. Actually, we might be done in 3 days, unless we could be done in 3 days. 3 or 4 days. And then we'll dive into the next book. It gives you time to grab the Miracle Morning. So my hope is that you ask more questions. If somebody asks you a question, answer them. Be curious. Be like a child. Maybe your takeaway should be more like your children in the curiosity aspect. Now, do you think my husband wants to come and say anything? Do you have anything you want to say?
Is there anything you want me to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Do you have anything you want to talk about with questions or curiosity? Anything that spurs into your mind. I always like it when he comes and shares.
Well,
He probably wants to come and snuggle me.
I do. That would be great.
All right.
What's up, Keto Mom community? I think the biggest thing that...
Oh, here, you get your face in there, not me.
Sorry. The biggest thing that I would encourage you all with is curiosity is powerful. I think when there's curiosity and then asking the right questions, being consistent, those are all things that are a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we learned about having a plan and putting that plan into play by having a place set aside. That's what I'm kind of thinking through right now. Like having a place set aside, having a time set aside, but having a plan. And I think so often people usually fall short. People usually perish because they lack a vision. They lack a plan. And so the things that I just would encourage you with is to have a plan, to be curious, to constantly pursue the things that you're going after.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love
That's all
it.
that I got.
I love it. I think it's great. What do you think about the Miracle Morning book that we're going to start here in a couple days?
I think it's brilliant, and it's a tool. It is a tool to help. It's not the living word.
Right.
It is a
the
great
Bible
tool.
is that.
I mean, Hal's story is remarkable.
Right.
I mean, it gives you perspective, and I think that's something that you can also learn from people. I think when you're also talking about being childlike and asking questions, you can also, you want to know the best reflection of your current life? Look at your children. Just look at your children. Your children are a product of the environment.
But it's true.
Your children are a product of the environment that you've created for them.
Right.
And it's interesting because we'll run into people at the airport or at stores or at restaurants, and they'll say a couple different things. They'll either say, oh my goodness, you just wait till your kids get older. And a long time ago, that used to really frustrate us until we started realizing that's their story. That's their perspective. That's how they raised their children. That was their story. That was not our story.
And it was something maybe they were taught. They didn't know. They didn't decide to dive in and learn something new.
That's not the story we're writing. But when we think about what we see in our children, like I'll just give you an example. Last night, it was funny. It was bad. I'm just going to be real here for 1 second. Is that okay? Because this was maybe a downfall from my spot. But when I woke up to the text message that I saw, it actually made me realize there's a lot of things that I feel like we're doing right. So last night, we're in an Airbnb down in Florida, and it's a beautiful home. I really love how these people put this house together. Yeah. Well, the room that our girls are staying in, it's a bunk bed room. And so there's 2 bunk beds, 4 beds. We have 4 daughters. It works perfectly. Right. So all of a sudden, we're getting ready for bed last night, and all of a sudden I hear this shriek, this scream, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. And if you can imagine, Dad defense moves.
It was like a deathly scream.
Dad defense moves, like go full blown. I'm thinking all SWAT, all karate, all 𝗁𝗵𝗁𝗁, like I'm going all in. What is going on? I'm about to protect my family. I'm thinking this could be my moment, right? I walk in there and I could see it on their faces. Emery, which is our 12-year-old, she's the one who screamed. Amelia, our oldest, is the one who's laughing. The other two are like, oh, Dad is not happy. I walked in and I was blown away because Amelia did something. She's scared.
They were just being silly.
They were being silly.
She was getting her back, like spraying her with water.
So
when she came out of the bathroom.
Yeah. I don't know. If I would have handled it differently, I probably would have handled it differently.
Which he's going to talk to her today.
I'm still navigating how I feel, but there was a couple things. Like, I was really worked up because I thought I had to like go into protective dad mode, where you just never know.
Right.
Am I rambling too much?
So what's the point?
The point is collect the facts and watch your words, because I told the girls I'm disappointed in how you acted. I thought I had to come in here to beat somebody up, is honestly what I was thinking. And then
kids,
my heart rate like went through the roof, and I said to him, I said, just so you're aware, you just took a year off of my life. I said, whenever I'm gonna die, just know that I should have had one more year because of what happened.
He spoke it. That's not good. We should talk about the power of our words. We will in the future, because that's hands down the number one thing we teach our kids. So we're rejecting what
the
he said.
plan was to live to 120.
We're going to live to 120.
It's 119 for
well,
me.
we always say we're going to live to be 120.
So I've got to rework that. So I would say I'm going to pull back those words. I'm way off of morning miracle. Okay. But I say all that because I woke up to a miracle.
We talked about the power of our children.
Yeah.
I mean, like we talked about, like if you want asking questions, being curious, if you want, like, why do you do things in your life? And also, like, if your children are a reflection of you.
Right. So they're funny. Here's the crazy thing. Here's the morning miracle, though. I woke up to a text message.
Yeah.
And it was our daughter apologizing.
Yep.
She was apologizing. And so I'll just say this. If you want to know the trajectory, like, if you want to know what's up with your life, look at your children.
Right.
Okay? And if there's things in your children that, I mean, yes, you can all get frustrated, and we're all on the pursuit of better.
Right.
But the reality is your kids are a product of your environment. And so I'm grateful and thankful. I'm gonna have a great conversation with the kids this morning.
They apologized.
So I hope that's an encouragement to you all.
Yeah. So great. We are going to talk about the power of our words, not today, but a different day. It's like a full-on blown topic of just...
I've got to pull that back.
Just the power of your words. Because we talk about mindset. We can give you all the tips and tricks on how to eat keto. Can tell you how, like, we can give you the tactical tools, and we can say it's important to read. It's important to learn. It's important to grow. It's important to take action. And one of the biggest things that people do not focus on is their words. And if you're speaking life and death over your family and over yourself and over any situation. And so maybe we'll dive into that before we start that book. So we're going to finish this book. We're going to talk about the power of our words, and then we're going to dive into the miracle morning. So just continue to follow along every single morning, except for sometimes the weekends, depending on how our days go. But
if you want to always see behind the scenes, just go follow her on Instagram or check out the Facebook stories, Instagram stories, Keto Mom Secrets, because I will say this about Stephanie. She has a gift of creating funny content, and now that she's with her sister and we're in a different environment and there's sunshine and it's not so negative beautiful. 14, she's even more creative. And so
I just like to say I'm funny.
I mean, you are seriously funny.
I just like to be funny. All right. We appreciate you guys. Always reach out if you have any questions, and continue to tune in. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.